Here I am going to read some 5 to 10 members of students. And for example, their name, their roll number, and M1, that means marks of subject 1, marks of subject 2, marks of subject 3. I am going to define all these things, and I am going to calculate a total score and percentage of each student. I am going to print all the students using structures. Okay, for this I am going to write here, first of all, defining the structure like this. I am going to define a structure struct student. I am going to write here, first one is a character, that is a name, that is going to be 100, and the next int, that is also some character, that is equal to roll number, and int m1 comma m2 comma m3 comma total float percentage, like this. This is the structure of one student. Okay, I am going to give only the input data is roll number, name, and m1, m2, and m3. I am not giving the data to total and float here. I am going to give only the m1, m2, m3, roll number, and name. We have to calculate this total and percentage. Okay, and this is going to be like this. Now I am going to write here a main function. Int main. I am going to read how many students are there. First of all, how many students are there. For example, that is going to be n here. For example, I am going to read n. Based on that n, I am going to declare the students here. I am going to declare the students like this here. Here it is. Using this line, I am going to declare the students like this. But in the above condition, we have to write this one. This is the type def struct student std, and I am going to manipulate like this. There is students here. Students. We have to write yes. This one is the right std students. We have to write here as std students. Okay, first I am going to create type def struct student std, and I am going to declare this one wherever I want. For example, I am going to create here. That is no problem here. std star students. I am going to read the size. For example, if it is 5, I am going to assign the size of 5 variables here. 5 students are there. Now I am going to read the data of the students. Now I am going to read the data of the students for I is equal to 0, I less than n, or we can write like this also, for I is equal to 1, I less than equal to n, I plus plus. We can read, no, we have to start it from 0, I less than n, I plus plus, sorry. Now we are going to read the data of the students here. How I am going to read the data of the students? Like this. Not only the students of name and students of roll number. The string I am going to write like this. I'm going to read the roll name and roll number, and then I'm going to read here percentage D, comma, how many values are there? 3 percentage D's, comma, ampersand M1, comma, ampersand M2, comma, ampersand M3. Sorry, ampersand M3. We are going to read the data like this, simply. Now I am going to pass this total into some function here, some function stu student underscore details, student underscore details. I am going to pass here students comma n. I am going to pass this one like this. This is the function call here. I am going to pass the total students and how many students are there. We have to write the loop on this. That's why I am writing a n here. Okay, that's it, nothing else. And now I am going to write a function here. This is going to be void function, and that function signature will be like this. But here instead of int and anything, I am going to write std star students, and this is going to be integer value. I have to write like this. From this we are going to calculate for the students percentage and total marks and percentage first of all, right? Total marks and percentage. What I have to do? Here I am going to write some for loop on I is equal to 0, I less than n, and I plus plus. For every student I am going to calculate the total marks and percentage, and then I am going to print the data here. I am going to print the data here in the main function only. I less than n, I plus plus. Here I am going to print the data of the student here. Printf percentage yes, percentage yes, percentage d, percentage d, percentage d, 3 percentage d's and 4 percentage d, and last one is percentage f. Here I am writing the name comma roll number comma m1 comma m2 comma m3 comma total comma percentage, like this. I am going to print here of all the students. I am going to print like this. After calculation of the total students, every student, I am going to print the results here. I cannot print this total and percentage. For example, if I am not using this this one, for example, if I am going to execute it, here it is, I missed here I. For example, there is no, what happened here? malloc. Okay, sorry for that. We have to write students, right? Students of I dot m. Sorry for that. To read like this, and we have to print like this also. Yes, this one. Here also I am going to print like this. There is no special m1 and m2. We have to write student of m1, student of m2. For every variable we have to print like this. For example, if I am going to execute it, some error is there. What is that? malloc error. That means we are going to declare stdlib, include std library.h. Yes, now there are no errors. For example, only two students are there. First one is Sudhir, and what is the roll number is 1 2 3, and the marks are like this. And the second student, for example, Ravi, and the roll number is like this, and the marks will be like this. And yes, just look at here up to, I'm going to copy it, just wait, I'm going to delete it. Just after this one I'm going to give some slash n, then it will be give an exact data to you. This is the input here. For example, if you look at this one, Sudhir and his roll number is this one, marks of the three subjects is this one, and then there are two garbage values here. Here also there are two garbage values. Why? Because I'm not assigning any value here. I'm not assigning any value for this total and percentage. That's why if I'm going to display the data, it is going to be giving the output as some garbage value. Instead of garbage value, what I have to do here, I'm going to calculate it. Yes, I'm going to calculate it using this function call. Using this function call. Now moving here, if I'm going to call this function, then it is going to be find the output of this total and percentage also. What I'm going to do here, I'm going to calculate of each and every student here. For example, I'm going to take some total variable. This total, for example, instead of total, I'm going to take some TOT. That's it. It is equal to 0. For example, total is equal to I'm going to write here m1 plus m2 plus is equal to like this. There is no need of this one also. I'm going to write like this, and student of total is equal to, no need of this one also. Student of total is equal to students dot m1 plus m2 plus m3, like this. The same thing I'm going to write here, dot some percentage is equal to, what I have to do here, this is going to be the total value by 3, right? The total value by 3. This is total value by 3 here. For example, I am going to execute it. What will happen, I will show you. I am going to execute it. Two students are there, Sudhir and 1 2 3, and the marks will be like this, and Ravi just look at here, this is the total marks, and this is going to be a percentage symbol, percentage of the student. As simply what I am going to do here, just if I'm going to print here 2 point, it will be printing only the two decimal values like this. Yes. Is it clear everyone what I am doing here? Very simply I am going to calculate each of the students data. I am manipulating the data using these statements. I am going to calculate the data. Yes, just note it down everyone. Just note it down. Note it down, everyone. After this, I am going to write that function. I'm going to write some point 0 like this. Integer by float. Then it will be give some floating values. That's why I'm writing here 3.0. Yes. Then is it clear, everyone? Very simple program, right? Very simple program. Is it done, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then write down the main function. Just try to write all these ones. Students of I dot name, roll number, M1, M2, M3, comma total, comma percentage. Is it finished? Yes. Then I'm going to doing the same program, but some question is different. For example, Yes, I'm reading some students here. I'm reading some students, but I'm going to return a student which has the total marks with some highest total marks student. I'm going to return who got highest marks in that examination. For example, I'm going to return here. There is no need to print. There is no need to print in a for loop here. There is no need to print here the for loop. I'm going to print the data of only one particular student who got highest marks. Okay. Now that means I'm going to return the data from the function. I'm going to return the data from the function. Everything is same, but some topper is equal to. I am going to get the data like this. Topper is equal to. Instead of students, I'm going to return here. No need to write topper and all these things. I'm going to write here. Just wait. Instead of returning that one, I'm going to return the index is enough, right? First of all, I will show you in the topper method, and then I'm going to write another method. First of all, I'm going to write like this. I'm going to display the topper details here. I'm going to display the topper details. Now, what is topper here? Topper is also structure variable, right? I'm going to get the total data of one student. That's why I'm going to write here not star topper. I'm going to write only. I'm going to get only single value. That's why I'm going to write here topper is enough. Okay, I'm going to return topper is enough. Okay. And from the function call, I'm going to get here the name of the function is student underscore details. I'm passing one structure data and how many values are there, and this function has the return type that is structure data type. Okay. Now instead of void, what I'm returning here, I'm going to return here std. I'm going to return. I'm not returning multiple values. I'm not returning multiple values. I'm going to return only one value that is of type structure. That is of type structure. Okay, everyone. Here also I'm reading only M1 and M2 and M3. I have to calculate that what is that total score and percentage here. Based on the total score, I am going to calculate the who got the total marks. I am going to return that student. Okay. I am going to return that student. How I am going to return? For example, here I am going to write if TOT is less than, is TOT is less than same program I am going to write here. Some TOT is equal to this value. I am going to store TOT is equal to students of I value. Who got highest marks? I am going to save the. I am going to save here. Okay, I am going to save here. Then, and I am going to save one more thing, that is going to be some J, and J is equal to I. I am going to save that I value. That I value who got highest marks. After the total function, I am going to return. I am going to return student of J. That's it. I am going to return student of J. One particular student, for example, if I am going to execute it, what is that? students, it is going to be students, not student, but it is going to be a topper. Okay, no, this is not I, is there is no need of I here, this is just a topper, that's it. Only single value, right? I am going to return only single value, there is no need of I here. Small type of mistakes. Yes, this it. For example, I'm going to read three students. For example, I'm going to read three students, and this one is Sudhir, and the value is going to be, the roll number is going to be like this, and 12, 34, and 56. This is one values of one student. 12 plus 34 plus 56. Then next one is Ravi, and the roll number is 321, and the marks is going to be 99, 89, and 79, for example. So for example like this. And the next one is Fani, and the roll number is going to be 345, and the marks is like this. Okay, this is the marks. Who got highest marks? No doubt about that, Ravi got highest marks. Just look at here. I am going to return here who got highest marks. I am going to display the data of that student only. Okay, are you catching my point or not? What I'm writing inside the logic? Yes, I'm going to copy this input first of all to give the going to maintain that one. Yes, just know, I think everyone is understand, right? What I am returning here, I am returning the topper values. The main logic is here, why I am storing in j is equal to I. That is the only one thing. This is a very important point here, why I am writing like this. Yes, I am storing the data here. Who got highest marks, I am storing in a TOT. But what is the index of the student? What is the index? Who got the highest marks? I am going to store that I in J, and when I am returning that one, the jth index student got highest marks. That's why I am returning return students of J. Okay, but why I am writing like this? Total is equal to students of I dot total. If I am not placing this one, this condition is every time false, right? That's why I am going to maintain the data in the total who got highest marks, and also I am going to maintain what is the index of that highest mark student every time. That's why I am writing these two lines. The very simple difference for the to the last output here. In the last program it is void function, but here it is not void, here it is std. That means I am going to return a structured data. That's why I am writing here std. Here also I am written students dot j. That means one particular student details I am going to return here. Here also I got here topper is equal to, what is topper? Topper is of type student, one single student. That's why I'm not mentioning any star here. And I'm going to display the data of the student here. I'm going to display the data of the student. Topper is topper dot like this. Okay, I'm going to return like this. If you want to note it down, just note it down, anyone. But I'm going to share this total data into the GitHub, right? Just if you understand or not, everyone. First of all, is it understand or not, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, then that is enough. But why? Because this is very big program, right? If you miss anything or semicolon or anything, it will be difficult to you when you are writing. For example, if you miss any line, if any simple line, it will be big error. That's why I am not encouraging to write that one. Okay, the simple thing I can do it in another way also. I am going to copy it. I will show you. maintain this top one dot c. I'm going to place it. In what way I'm going to generate the same logic here. Here there is no topper and there is no need to place in another way. Here I'm going to write some I only. For example, instead of I'm going to get the data like this. Here I'm going to write instead of printing this value, I'm going to print like this. Yeah, I'm not using any for loop here. I'm not printing anything here. Look at my function definition, my function call here. What I'm returning here? What I'm returning? Anyone, student? Students, what I'm returning from this function? What is the return type of this function? When you are observing this function call, students.
Integer, sir.
Integer, 100% I am going to return integer. Instead of returning anything, I am going to return some integer here. I am going to return here j is enough, and I am going to return that is going to be an integer here. That's it. What I am returning? What is the index of that highest mark student? That is enough, right? That is enough. Then I am going to manipulate this one using the logic here. For example, if I am going to execute it, yes, this is the input. I am going to give this one. It is going to be print Ravi's data. Why it is printing Ravi's data? It is returning the index here. It is returning the index. Where is Ravi? Where is the top student? What is the index of the top student? The top student is at index 2. I am returning to that 2 here. I am printing that student result here. That's it. This is another way of returning. Based on the question, we are going to return the data here. Is it understand what I'm doing here? What is the difference between the last program and this program?
Yes, sir.
Yes. To maintain the topper data into another pointer, that is no need to, that is some memory wastage, right? There is no need to store the topper data into another variable. Yes, this is already in the student's data. That's why I'm going to print the data here. Like this, we are going to use these values. Just observe everyone. Same logic, but I am returning here integer the index value where the topper is in. In the previous example, here I am returning the total data of the student. Sometimes it is going to be written the only name of the student also. The question is going to be like this: who got highest marks? Just return that. Just display the name of the students. At the time we are going to return some name like that. Also we are going to work it out based on the question only. We are going to work here. Okay. And for example, I'm going to maintain that one also. I will write here, for example, char star like this. Char star like this. Sometimes students of I dot name here. I is going to be j dot name. For example, I am going to return the data of the topper name only. For example, I am going to write here topper of 100 and instead of this one I am going to topper. Instead of printing all these things, it is going to be printf percentage s comma topp topper. I'm going to execute it. What is this? Expression assignment of array type. Sorry for that. It is going to be return star. I'm going to copy it. If I'm going to display it, Ravi is going to be the output here. That's it. We can work in any way like this. If you want to display the total data, if you want to give return some index value, or if you want to return any string, we are going to return this like this. Okay. Okay, everyone. What I'm doing here? Just we have to work on all these properties here. I'm going to return what I'm returning here, char star. Char star means it is going to be string. Instead of returning j here, I'm going to return students dot j dot name. That means it is going to be string here. Is it clear, everyone? What I'm returning from this? Students, what I'm returning here? Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. In this way, I'm going to return the data from the function. Before going to the next concept, I'm going to give you what is Q sort in C programming. What is Q sort? For example, if I'm some array of values is there, for example, like this. Some array values are like this. If I'm going to sort it out, I'm going to go for some sorting techniques for this. But in C, there is a predefined sorting methodology is there, that is going to be Q sort. I will try to explain it how the Q sort is going to be working with a simple function. There is no need to write any logic here. Okay, there is no need to write any logic for that. Just we have to write just simple syntax of that one. I will show you how to work on that function. Hash include stdio.h, and I am going to writing some main function int n. That int n means that is going to be size integer values, and I am going to take here some ARR of some 100 also, and I am going to take some I value for iteration, percentage d, comma ampersand n here. Based on that n value, I am going to read the values of array here. I'm going to read the values in array, percentage d, comma ARR of I. I'm going to read the values like this. Now, if I'm going to print it, before sorting, I'm going to print the data here. Before sorting, or I'm going to write like this. Before sorting, I'm going to print here. For example, for I is equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus is d space ARR I. I'm going to write like this. After sorting also, after sorting, I'm going to print the data like this /n. After sorting like this, but I'm not writing any big functions or any sorting methodology here. Very simply, in C programming, we can write some Q sort methodology. How to write a Q sort? Q sort of values. What are the values here? ARR is the values, and what is the size of the array? That is going to be that is going to be n, and we have to write here, is it size of, what is the data type of this one? that is going to be integer, that is going to be integer values, all these are, and comma size of int comma. I am going to write one comparison function, whatever you want, some comparison function. I am going to write like this, that's it. What is this? This is a Q sort. What are the values here? That is ARR. And what is the size? How many elements are there? N elements are there. What is the data type of this? What the variables? And we have to write some comparison function. This is the one function definition. How I am going to write this function definition? This is also very simple. We can write in any name, not a CMP fun, not like that. We can write any name, no problem for that. We have to define it here. We have to define it here. What is that? Int CMP fun of wide star A. That means it's a wide pointer. Why I am writing wide pointer here? Here I am going to mention here size of int, right? That means I am passing here integer variables. I am passing null that is wide pointer. If it is integer, it is going to be turned as an integer values. If I am passing here float, it is going to be turned as a floating values. If it is character, it is automatically converted into the character values. Wide star B. I am passing two values here. Return. I am going to return. What is the nearest one? What is the smallest one I am going to return? That means how I am going to return here? Star of int star. Why I am writing int star means I am going to turn it into this wide pointer into int pointer here. Int, that is an integer variable, minus I am going to write here again star int star B like this. That's it, nothing else. We have to write this simple line here. That means which is the greater value. That's it. If it is a greater value, if it is going to be return positive values, the first one is bigger one. If it got a negative value, the second one is the bigger one. Okay, that's it, nothing else. It is going to be return. If it is a negative value, the second value is bigger. For example, these values are like this: 5 minus 9. That is going to be minus 5, right? That is going to be minus 5. It is going to be return negative value. If it is a negative value, the swapping is done. That means we have to swap 9 and 4. 9 and 4. That is not our part. That is not our part. That is all it is done by Q sort. No problem for that. Okay. For example, if it is 9 minus 4, that means it is going to be return positive value. If it is a positive value, there is no swapping done. The total thing is going to be done by the Q sort function. That is no need of we are writing that's it. Just we are writing this line only. That's it. If I am going to execute it, what is happening? I missed here semicolon. Here also I missed some semicolon here. If I am going to execute it, 5 values are there. In this 5 values, 34, 21, 54, 6, like this. Like this I am going to write here 5 values. Just what is missing here? Something is missing. Something is missing here. I have to write some. Values 34, 23, 12, 65, 35. What is missing here? Just wait. Okay, here I am not writing ampersand of str. That's it. That is the mistake. Here, just look at before sorting. It is going to be like this. After sorting, just look at here. It is going to be like this. Is it clear, everyone? Just sorting, very simple technique it is. Very simple technique. There is no need to write anything here. Just Q sort. What is that? A Q sort. Just note it down, everyone. How it is going to be Q sort. Just note it down. This one and this one. Very important. There is no need to write some 20 to 30 lines to sort an array here. We can use this Q sort to sort structures, arrays, strings, anything we can sort it. Very simply, just simply writing one single line Q sort of. That is also very fast in compilation. And we have to write this one. That's it. If it is a positive value, there is no need to swap. If it is a negative value, it is going to be swap. That's it. Just note down this line and this line. We can write in any name, no problem. For there is no need to write only CMP fun. You can write any value here. Just note it down, everyone. This line, Q sort of. Q sort of ARR comma n comma size of int comma function name. This is the function call. Then we are going to write here. Then we are going to write a function like this. Int CMP fun of constant. There is no need of constant here. I'm going to delete it. There is no need of constant and all these things. This is enough. For example, if I am going to write like this, some 5 values are there: 87, 56, 43, 34 and 54. It is going to be like this. Okay. Yes. Note it down. Just simply this line. This is enough. Nothing is there. It automatically works on sorting. That's it. Nothing else. There is no need to write anything here. Five values: 34, 56, 23, 12 and 76. Just look at here now. Now it is going to be in a descending order. If you observe here, what I am doing here, in a descending order. In the previous one, it is going to be in ascending order. Now it is going to be in a descending order. We can do it anything. What I am doing here, I am doing the changing the values A and B to B into A. That's it. It is automatically converted into ascending into descending order. That's it. Is it clear, everyone? Very useful function this is. Okay. Yes, just try to write this one. For example, I am going to write, just note it down as like this. For example, this is going to be an ascending order. This is ascending order, and this is going to be some descending order like this. We can write any one of them, not two. Okay. Is it clear, everyone? First one is ascending order and the second one is the descending order. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then I'm going to write. The time is 9. Okay, we will try to finish this program. Or can I continue, or can I go for tomorrow, students? Okay, I will continue tomorrow. Okay, after this just practice everything, how we are dealing with structures and everything, and tomorrow I will continue the class.